You're watching Leafs Morning Take with host Nick Alberga and former NHLer Jay Rosehill. The show starts now.
What is good, everybody who's ready to get hurt again? It's Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill for the Wednesday edition of Leafs Morning Take, but a different feel this time around, Rosie. The season opener, dude, it's finally here. It feels like just yesterday they didn't show up against the Florida Panthers in the second round. How are you? And obviously, we'll try our best to reconnect here with Jay Rosehill. That's the clunky start we needed to this regular season. I love it. But Rosie will be coming up in mere minutes, and we'll get his thoughts on this season opener for the Maple Leafs against the Montreal Canadiens. Again, welcome. Wednesday edition of Leafs Morning Take. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts by searching Leafs Morning Take or here on YouTube. We're really pushing the YouTube this year. You guys have been fantastic, very lively in the chat. Duke, by the way, I did see your post in the YouTube chat 30 minutes before the show went air. Go live, you pigeons. So we see you, we hear you. That's why the show is longer this year at the Leafs Nation 401, where you can subscribe here on YouTube and check things out whenever you can. Of course, if you miss it in live, you can always check it out after the fact. So it'll be fascinating to see how things go tonight. I got a couple of stats to throw your way. I'm a little disappointed by last night. I won't lie. I was feeling good about the Seattle Kraken. I was telling the guys before the show got underway that Seattle was a team that really, really hurt me. I think we have Rosie back in the mix. What's going on, buddy?
I thought my house got hit by lightning. She just went kapow. Smoke started coming out of the laptop, but I'm good now, buddy. I put her out.
I think it was Santa Claus on your roof because it feels like Christmas today, bud.
Yeah, it does. Long time coming, baby. We just keep saying, I can't believe it's here. I can't believe it's here. It's just never here. Like a few more hours and we're going.
So I got a major league gripe for you. So you know I love my shot props. It was free money last night. Connor Bedard and that shot prop makes his NHL debut. And I don't know I want to know who professionally counts at these games and how much money they make per season, because it was fascinating beyond belief, Rosie, to see the shot prop go up and down for Connor Bedard as the night went on. And last time I checked, it went up and down. It finished at 5. It should have been like 9. Last time I checked, if it hits a goalie's pad or anything, or hits a goalie, period, it's a shot on goal. But apparently that has changed in this world.
Really? That's interesting, man. That can't be done. It's got to be pretty clear. Like the hitting is hard enough. I don't think you see too many shot props on over-under hits because it's so subjective, right? But yeah, that's disappointing to hear because you text me after I think it was a second period we were watching and you're like, I mashed the shot prop and I was like, I missed it. I was late. And you're like, he cleared it in the first period.
Yeah, but dude, they changed the number 16 times and this is across the board. That's my only problem with betting in the NHL. Like you're either in or you're not. And if we're going to start fucking around with the numbers, that people are going to get pissed off and people are going to be in a really bad way. And there's going to be some hate back the other way. I know it's early on in this process, but like, I don't know anymore what an actual shot looks like. And maybe I'm the degenerate for betting on shots in general, but I mean, when you open up betting, people are going to bet on whatever. And it sort of excites me when a guy shoots the puck, especially with the authority that a Connor Bedard does. But now you're taking shots away from me and my money's on the line. You can see where the issue arises.
So did you win?
Yeah, I mean, the number was so juice. Like I got it at minus 120, but I also I took over 3.5, over 4.5 as well.
And what do you end up on in the NHL? What do you get?
He finished at 5.
Okay.
Yeah, but dude, I watched the game. He had like 8 shots on goal. They hit goalies. Like
yeah,
I don't know. It's a fishy situation nonetheless, but. Shifting the focus as well, we do have a guest coming up in 15 minutes from now. I thought this is perfect, and you brought it up, but he played for the Montreal Canadiens. He played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is a personality in media. It was just a combo made in heaven for this show, for the season opener to help tee things up. Colby Armstrong, your former teammate's coming up in 15. How do you feel about that?
Arm Brewster. Feel good about it, man. It's always good to see that guy. He's always got a smile on and acting like a donkey. So, yeah, we haven't had him on since last year, probably early, too. So it'll be good to get him back on and pick his brain a little bit since he's one of the few men who's played for both teams.
And he's also one of the few people to see Connor Bedard play an official NHL hockey game. He was there in Pittsburgh last night, the Kyle Dubas era underway with a big fat L, baby. Not to troll everybody, but a tough start for them, losing to the team that we think is going to be one of the worst in hockey. So a tough start for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll go over the Bedard debut. We'll go over the season opener here between the Leafs and the Habs. But it's a different feel to this team this year, Rosie. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, you go through ebbs and flows this salary cap era of when a team's peaking and when they're rebuilding, and it's kind of more evident than it's ever been where teams are sitting. And the Leafs have kind of been up there peaking for a little while, and they've only kind of gotten better every season. And after last season, it's like, okay, let's address some issues, and it feels like they addressed them pretty well. I didn't think we could get both Domi and Bertuzzi, and Klingberg, his potential is there. It's not exactly a slam dunk. It's not like we got, a premier NHL Norris candidate type of defenseman, but the guy knows how to play hockey, and we're hoping he can fit in the lineup a little bit. So there's lots to be excited about. I just keep going down the lineup, and Bertuzzi and Domi, I like the additions too, but Nyes, man, he's just a guy that I don't know. I'm going to start getting hate for being too much of a nice suckler, but I just can't wait to watch this kid with his first, this is his beginning of his journey with the Toronto Maple Leafs, in my opinion, is tonight.
You're officially a nickname guy, by the way. You had a good nickname for Fraser Minton in our chat yesterday. What was it? It's like Mincy or something.
Oh, it'd have to be Mincy. Oh, that would be
it was something else, but I was like dying. I'm like, this guy already has a nickname for the guy who hasn't played in the league.
It doesn't matter if you know him or not, just his name. If you don't want to say the 2-syllable name, you just chuck a 1 silly on there.
No, it's funny because we interviewed Cody Franson last week, and right away I was calling him Franny, man. You don't even realize it. I'm like, this is a chill podcast. This isn't the corporate world. I'm not calling him Cody. It's Franny because that's how he's known, and that's what he probably responds to, no?
I bet he hasn't been called Cody from anyone outside of his wife and family in probably years, man. Franchise is what I usually call that guy. But I'm sad I missed it, man. I spent a lot of time. Our wives hung out and everything as well. So I was mad I missed that. But when I'm gone, you need to fill the time with something, right? I mean, you're just blowing in the ether, lost like a newborn calf out in the wind, just not sure what to do. So I understand. So don't worry about that. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, no, actually, it was the best show we've done this season in terms of views and hits. So everything's going accordingly here. But yeah, make sure you go back and check out that interview with Cody Franson. And I think in general, that's sort of our plan this season. I think people who want Leafs content, who watch Leafs content, want to hear back to some of these retro players, man. At least I would. I mean, I think it's cool to have guys. And yeah, we talked a bit about the 2013 team and stuff like that. But I think it's always fun to hear the perspective of people who played for this team. And that's why I think it's so cool to work with you.
Well, it's throwbacks, right? If you follow this team for a long time, which most Leafs fans have, it's not like, oh, I started following the Leafs in 2018. It's probably not, but maybe. But the majority of them have been following for a long time. So it's nice to have that throwback where you get to go back to, a different era and be like, oh, man, I remember that. And then it triggers some memories. And I wish there were happier memories of more W's and championships and banners being hung up, but not a lot of people can say that in the last. What did we decide yesterday?
Oh, dude, I'm still trying to do the math. So 67, 2000, that's 33. No, wait. Yeah, it's 33. No, it's not.
What? 33 years? 67. Wow.
No. I said 2000 minus 1967. That's 33 years, right?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And you do 33 plus 23. Math's not our forte.
I told you.
Can somebody in the chat tell us how many years it's been since this damn team has won a Stanley Cup, please?
I had it off the bat.
We are what is it?
66, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. We're two meatheads. I'm the bigger meathead, dude. Funny enough, my last name's close to algebra. I was just terrible at math. I gave up. I'm like, you know what? Probably should do broadcasting. Math is not my thing.
I'm that guy too. I like words, not so much numbers. Numbers, there's only 9 of them and you just jumble them different ways. Words you can do anything with. I like the word game.
Yeah. So before anybody chirps us in the chat, we are two meatheads and we do own it. Aaron says his math says 56. So yeah, we're going to have to do
We got a lot going on this morning.
Yeah, we do, because we have Leafs-Habs, man. What does that mean to you, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, my first game, man, it was the culmination of so many years coming up. I mean, I wasn't a guy like some of these guys that you're seeing step out of junior, step out of the draft, play in the show. I had to work for it. I had to put in my time. I had to grind. I had to switch positions. just put my head down, ass up, and just tried to make it. And when that day came, and it was, I got to prepare for it a little bit because I made it out of training camp. It was opening night in Toronto versus the Habs. My dad gets to fly in last minute. That's what that means to me. I mean, I remember after my first shift looking down, being like, holy, I did it. I did it. Like, you could never not say I didn't play in the NHL. Like, that's all I wanted. And it was weird. I remember that night I had to like reevaluate my goals and stuff because it was just that single thing for so long. And it was really, really a wild night. So I remember that very well. I think we lost in a shootout actually, which is frustrating, but just a wicked, wicked experience for me. And the fact that I got to do that, something special for me on such a special night in the NHL in general, like that classic Leafs-Habs open up the season game is, I don't think you could pick a better one if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front. By the way, the answer is 56, and thank goodness we have producer Aaron Bordato. It's been 56 years since the Maple Leafs have last won a cup, but yeah, that's the sort of things you remember for life, especially when you play a team like the Montreal Canadiens, original six. It just got a different feel, like the juices are flowing. I like the fact that they've sort of instituted this the last couple of years as well, Rosie, that it's Leafs and Habs in the opener. I think this is the 4th straight year we're getting it, and I don't mind it. I like it to start the rivalry off right.
I kind of thought that they always did that because we did that. Like, I was 2009, my first game, and that was Leafs-Habs. I kind of thought it was always that, but it hasn't been always that. Hey,
it changed for a couple of years, and I've like when we get to our bet, I have a pretty big way or statistic that I'm going to throw your way and see if you're feeling it. And I've told you about this for the last week, but I look back and there's been a couple games. I think there's one against Ottawa, there's one against Winnipeg. Where the schedule didn't go that way, but I think they're starting to do it every season. It makes a lot of sense, no?
I think so. It's wicked. Why wouldn't you like that last night? Bedard, Crosby, like 20 years difference in their draft, facing off against each other. Why wouldn't you do that? You get to start with a blank, clean slate for the scheduling, put together those storylines. That's phenomenal. I sat down and watched because I'm like, shit, I get to see Bedard, see what he does out there. And then I get to watch Cros, which is always fun just to see what he does. And I just watch him out there and go, where does he go out there? What does he think like? And usually I'm on the other side of the rink than where he is. And that sums up a lot about me, but it's nice to watch. And those storylines are wicked. And why wouldn't, with all the history and fandom of the Leafs and Habs, why wouldn't you set them off on the season at the same time?
Yeah, dude, I was going to ask, like, that's what I was trying to stumble. I was trying to figure out what I was going to ask you. You went no Bucky, right? For your opening warm up for your NHL debut against Montreal, right?
Yes.
So I didn't even know this, but you're not allowed to do that anymore. So Bedard makes his debut last night. So does Kevin Korchinski, the 1st-round pick from a couple years ago for Chicago. And I guess there's a $2,500 fine that goes with that. But I'm sure the team's like, you know what, guys, no bucket. Go do your thing. We're going to see the video right now. There's Bedsy just looking phenomenal, shooting the puck like crazy. Love it. But he didn't wear a bucket. So that's $2,500 that he is not paying. I can tell you that.
I love it. I love no bucket warm-up. My first NHL game I've ever been to, I was down at the Glass with my dad and brother and watching Theron Fleury playing Calgary, and he had his hair slicked back, no bucket. Joel Otto's blowing bubbles with his gum, and I'm like, that is fucking awesome. Like, I've never seen him with no helmets on. Maybe just Mac T out there is about it, but I said, I want to be able to play where I can go no helmet and warm up. And my first game in the American Hockey League, I was 20 years old and I went to Mitch Fritz. He's like a 6'8" scrapper guy. And I was like, hey, what's the story on, I was so naive, right? I'm like, on helmets, like, do you have to? And I was kind of aware of like the veteran thing. And he's like, you do what you got to do to be ready, man. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I don't know how long this is going to last. So I just go no bucket, warm up, first game pro in the American League. And afterwards he goes, I cannot believe a 20-year-old rookie just pulled that. Like, that's unreal. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then, I'd been a pro for like 4 years when I played first game in the NHL, and I went no bucket. I mean, I was a tough guy and I had a role, so I felt like I could do that and get away with it. I could back it up, no big deal. But to see Connor Bedard out there first game, I mean, I love it. Like, in 10 years, when you're looking back at his career, you'll have a chuckle and go, oh yeah, I remember his first game, he went no bucket. Oh, that sick drip and all that shit the kids will be saying. And I like it, man. Normally I like respect the game, know your role. I like all that old school stuff. But a guy like Connor Bedard, rock no bucket, get those picks, get the people checking you out. I love no bucket warm up. I hate that they took it away. It is a little bit crazy when pucks are flying around, and it was Taylor Hall that got stepped on that day and cut his head open where they grandfathered it in. And I guess it makes sense. You talk to enough insurance companies. Oh, this guy got a puck off his head. They're going to be like, what are you guys doing with no helmets on out there? So it sucks, but I like that at least they grandfathered in, didn't can it altogether.
Hey, I'm told we got a picture of you from your first game coming off the ice after warm-up. You look stargazed, man.
Oh, big time. I looked up. Maybe I did wear a bucket my first game.
You just lied to everybody. You lied to everybody.
Well, I'm the one that sent that to Aaron, so it's not like I was trying to hide something. But yeah, like, look at that bad bucket. Colby Armstrong wore the same bucket in Toronto, so we can both laugh about that CCMer. But I remember coming off and just hitting the guys, and I looked up, and my dad was right at the top of the tunnel, and I didn't know he made it into town for the game. So that's what that pick is looking, going, is that dad? And he snapped that pick, so that was kind of a wicked one.
Dude, the question is, Fraser Minton, will he have a bucket on for warmups? My money is on yes, because it's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Phrase daddy, the Minsky? Yeah, he'll wear
NHL debut, bud.
I'm sure everybody will. Grandfathered in, that just sucks. You'll never, ever, ever know what it's like to just grease your hair back and go snap it around with a big piece of double bubble. And that makes me sad, because that was such a cool part of it. Too bad. But yeah, I don't think anyone else is going to follow suit. I think kind of Connor is the one dude, and he had another rookie out there with him who it's kind of hard if he's going to do it not to have both of them. But no big deal. I'm sure they'll pay the fine and never give a rip about it and have a chuckle 10 years down the road. I
want to see the lettuce on Mincy tonight. By the way, our guest is just force feeding our chat. Like, he's like, I'm here. So let's bring him in then. Because Army's in the chat. Here's Colby Armstrong. I believe he is at PPG Paints Arena right now.
No.
Oh, he's not.
No practice today, boys. Caught a lucky break. Early in the year, no practice. What's going on? What's going on, boys?
You're chomping at the bit to get on Leafs Morning Take again?
Well, no, I've got Alberga blowing up my messages. You know, this guy's a hound dog. He's just after it. He'd make a great, like, complimentary first-line winger to some really good players just because he just gets after it.
He's a grinder. He's a workhorse.
That's why he's with you, Rosie. That's why he's with you.
They call me a glue guy, bud, but great to see that beautiful mug of yours. I don't know where to start. Since we're just talking about it, no Bucky in warm-up. Did you do that for your NHL debut? What do you think of Bedard last night?
Oh, I may have done it for my NHL debut. I can't really remember that.
Because it was back in the 70s, right?
Yeah, to Jay's story, to Rosie's old lie that he just wove to your guys' viewers. I don't know if I did it. I wasn't a Bucky's off guy. I thought it was sick. I thought when guys did it was sick. I was like a chin strap done up, ready to go and warm up guy. Like I don't know why. I was like old school that way. I was like, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. So I did remember I wasn't playing one time in Montreal. I was injured and I came back in the lineup just to be in the dressing room. And I threw in the biggest wad of bubble gum. I went, no, Bucky. And I was just like chomping it down, just Rosie's point. Like, that was so showtime. The guys looked amazing. I thought they looked amazing with no Bucky, but you're right, Nick. I think that's a rule now. No, you can't go no Bucky anymore. So I was surprised.
What do you think was going on in that room, Army, when he goes no Bucky? Guys were just getting all jacked up and just like, you got to take it off. You got to take it off. I'll pay it. Guys are chucking money on the board. We'll pay it. Like, just go. And he goes, okay. I don't think it was him being cocky.
They got like one of the biggest beauties going, like Corey Perry in the room, and Foligno too. Like, those guys are definitely telling him to go no Bucky, 100%. So
they're probably paying the fine, probably.
Yeah, it's not even a big deal. I mean,
$2,500.
Ho hum. You know,
okay. Army. Last night I watched your segment with him and Sid. When did you do that? Like after pregame skate, or?
No, I did that at NHL Media Day. Believe it or not,
Jesus.
In Vegas, no?
In Vegas, yeah. It was NHL Media Day in Vegas, and it was. I got a bunch of guys. It was actually really fun. The guys were great, and you know what? What's funny about those two as well? It's funny they played each other opening night, but he looks up to Sid a ton. But they kind of are similar in a lot of ways in getting to know him as well a little bit, just the way that they think, how like humble they are with themselves. Like I was thinking that like he was at the media day with his Chicago Blackhawks jersey on, and you can kind of get a vibe that I was like, you know, he was nervous being around it a little bit, but like he was also humble enough to go like, I haven't even made the team yet. You know, what am I doing here? Like, how am I wearing this jersey yet? So
cool.
I kind of got that sense from that's kind of the guy he is as well, but he played pretty good, I thought, for his first game, all the nerves, everything going up against your idol. And Obviously ended up winning.
Well, firstly, shout out. Go ahead, Rosie.
I was just thinking, I watched it too. He's a little passive. Like I like that he had like the respect of like, I'm not going to try to absolutely dipsy dangle every guy I walk in front of, which you can't do in this league anyways. But I mean, he was doing that in preseason. He was kind of dishing it around, just feeling it out a little bit. It felt like he had the respect that he's playing the Penguins, and he didn't try to go too overboard, but also lots of touches, lots of shots.
Yeah.
Looked solid. I mean, I liked it. I had buddies losing it. Like I had him to score in the first period. It's like, okay, settle down, man. You're not going to judge the guy in his first 4 shifts.
No, well, he's coming in the game, and like I hear like he skates like McDavid and he shoots like Matthews. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's an alien. Come on. There's no question he's like a smaller guy, but you could see like a lot of stuff when he's on the ice. It goes through him. Like he's got the puck, and he's not just a shooter. Also, like he can create space. He creates his own shots. He sets them up. He can get it off whenever he wants, kind of thing. And a lot of the action runs off of his stick. So the game's going to be on his stick a lot this year. He's going to have tons of. What he had 10 shot attempts, 5 shots on goal last night. Some quality ones. One was like a rebound smashing into the net as well. Give him credit for that. So. I thought he looked good. What his numbers are going to be, God, I don't know, but it was pretty cool. My son went to the game with my wife, and we were doing pre and post game show because it was national, so we were like in studio, so I didn't actually see him with my own eyes, which sucks. But it was cool because my son, all the kids think Bedard's like the shit. Okay, like my kid thinks he's unreal. Everyone thinks
daddy likes him, eh?
Oh yeah,
Cruiser
daddy. Cruiser.
What about Melly-Poo? Melly-Poo got wide eyes for the young fella?
Their seats were like kind of in the end where he scored, where he got his first point. So I thought that was kind of cool because, those are the kind of guys that you went and saw him play and you saw him get his first NHL point. Like that's pretty cool for my kid.
You can say that way down the road.
Yep.
I knew it was going to take Rosie about 6 minutes to bring up your wife. Somebody in the chat asked.
Well, where is Melly? Is she home? Is she in her jammies? What's going
She's
on back there?
napping, bud. I made her. Well, I didn't make her. I was just late night with the late start, Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern start. Hour post game show. Got home late, and then I didn't do the kid rush this morning. I got to sleep in, so she's taking a nappy poo. She's taking a little nappy poo, Rosie.
Nice. You were all jacked up from the game. You gave her the old elbow, and hey,
she's like, "Get out of here! Get out of here,
eat it, Kobe."
It's like you guys haven't missed a beat from playing together.
Yeah.
T-Max TV writes in, "Who is the hottest hockey wife?"
Oh God, I don't know.
I didn't expect to answer that.
O'Reilly.
Next question.
A lot of great wives rooms around the league.
A lot of good people. A lot of good people.
Great people. Overlooked people.
We wanted to bring you on. I think it's cool. You're in a rare company, Colby, because you played for Montreal and Toronto. Again, I tell you every time I talk to you, it's disgusting you played for Montreal, but nonetheless, I get it. A job's a job. But what is Montreal, Toronto? What does that rivalry mean to you, Colby?
Oh, good question. I grew up a Habs fan as a kid too, so suck on that one, Alberga.
That's terrible. Fucking terrible.
Freaking Stanley Cup when I was 11 years old. Yep, I got it. I remember it. It was the best day of my life when I was a kid, when I was hockey crazy. It was the greatest thing ever. So I had that going for me. The rivalry, I don't know. It was there, I would say. You could feel it. And I think, a lot of it is brought on, yes, by the players, but I would say like the fan bases. Like the fan bases make the rivalry. And I think quality of teams make the rivalry as well. So, I don't know if Montreal is close to Toronto's level right now these days, but I did enjoy playing in those. I love playing in those games just because I think the fans make it. I think, Leafs Nation in Montreal fans are nuts, and then vice versa, playing at home too. Like there's Habs fans everywhere as well. So it's kind of like the vibe of the fans make the whole game day kind of have a different feel.
Yeah, Kobe, like when you started off playing in Atlanta, I mean, hot Atlanta, you're going to the rink in
shorts. You should have seen the rivalries we had against the Panthers, bud.
I know. So you go from that. We know what that was like. It's just a different market. And then, you had your time in Pittsburgh and stuff like that. But just sticking with the Toronto, Montreal kind of gig, to go from that to those two things, what did you feel? Did you like that, having like like the hoopla surrounding it, or was it kind of like roll your eyes? My God, they're crazy here about every little thing we do.
Yeah, and we're hockey players, we're nerds, so we're like, oh yeah, I think it's more of a rivalry because you guys say it is, and
Max Domi.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, did he say that already?
He had to run back something he said with Montreal.
Oh yeah. I saw that right a while ago. Yeah, I know, that's so good. I love that. I mean, Max grew up in like the Leafs dressing room. That's so crazy, but seriously. Awesome that he's there now. But yeah, I love that. I thought it made it like the NHL. I thought it made it so fun. Like when I was in Pittsburgh and we got, playing with Sid, it was like a circus everywhere we went. Everyone wanted to come see Sid when we were on the road. So it was exciting. Like the media attention was crazy. And the fact that, also playing in Pittsburgh, whenever there was a big game at home, it's so close for like Canadian media to come down to cover like a Crosby Ovechkin game, and those are usually nationally televised down here as well, which like made it even like a bigger circus. So coming in, I was like, holy shit, this is the show. This is unreal. From one beat reporter in the American League kind of thing, or like 4 people to, the circus. I kind of found it exciting. So going to Toronto and playing in that market was like, it was like, holy, maybe more than I thought, even, to be honest with you, with the craziness. Hey, Rosie. But it was, there wasn't a dull moment day to day. It was just every day was crazy.
I could tell you were nervous because like back when they had those RBK sticks with like the holes in them, and then you typed in preseason and you started playing it like a flute. I could tell you were like really like taking it seriously and everything.
For once,
I remember watching that game going, did he just do what I think he did? And I was like, fucking Army, that is amazing. Those stupid sticks with the holes in them.
Those are the dumbest to mention. Those are like the T-blades. Remember the T-blades?
Yeah, T-blades of sticks.
Jochen Hesht, man. Remember that guy? You can hear him coming from a mile away.
Yeah, Seidenberg used those.
Seidenberg had those, just grinding away in front of the bench. Bad.
Yeah, you can't sneak up on anyone with those T-blades. There's no question about it. Those are brutal. Yeah, but yeah, it was also made it fun for that. Like Rosie, there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing right now. One, you have a fantastic personality and ravishing good looks, but also, it helps to play for a market and fan base and be around that stuff a lot and being able to do this kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was crazy. The rivalry was crazy. The attention to it was crazy, and it was fun. It was electric. And I mean, playing on Hockey Night in Canada most of the time for those games was something else.
Yeah. Sadly, I got the chat just talking about hot wives throughout the league that we're not going to name.
Clean up the chat.
Whoops. Yeah. The chat's
Aaron, clean up the chat.
I love where you're in our chat just talking. No, I'm talking about the YouTube chat, but the people watching right now live want to get your opinion on this Maple Leafs team. So I want to get to Dubas, by the way, because I threw out a nice tweet I felt last night. The Dubas era off to a roaring start in Pittsburgh with a loss to the lowly Chicago Blackhawks. But nevertheless, we'll start with the Leafs. Just your thoughts on what they did in the offseason. Obviously, like a polar opposite type of look from the previous administration.
Yeah, it is. And they brought in some, guys with, that jam. I mean, I thought they did that last year too, with acquisition of a few, key guys in key areas, and Achari and O'Reilly and Shen. And I thought, Dubas was pretty aggressive in trying to find guys that fit last year to have a run and to be difference makers and have guys be in certain spots, that made sense for their team. They're still good. I like the guys they picked up. I think they can contribute like in meaningful ways to this lineup. How's Klingberg looked? Have you seen him?
Barely.
Been injured.
He's injured. I think if he comes back and plays though, like I think he's like he's like Gonchar almost, in a way that he can kind of maneuver the blue line, ice in his veins, distribute pucks. He's not afraid to shoot. Like he's kind of like a real quality quarterback guy for the power play, which
but you guys know that this, like confidence is everything. Like that's my one read. You guys know I watch a lot of hockey, like John Klingberg in Dallas. I haven't seen that guy in years. And to get his confidence back in this market, Army, I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be put in positions to be able to get it. Like that's the one thing I always say about guys like him, guys like that get the opportunity to, build the confidence. A guy that, is struggling to score, but is on the first unit PP. You could easily pick up 2 points. You could easily get 1-1, and you're like, you're out of it. You given those opportunities to build it where, guys deeper in the lineup that are struggling, it's like, oh my God, I gotta do it 5-on-5, or, your confidence is roaring because you block a shot on the PK, right? Yeah. So it's like some of those guys with the gift that are gifted a little bit differently get put in situations for themselves to get out of that. And you get enough looks at that, and, you have one good game and it changes everything.
Love it. What, you got your money on the game tonight? Who are you cheering for? I'm curious.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I just think
don't do it.
I think it's like lopsided. I do like underdogs. I would maybe lean more towards that. Even on your show with like blue and white flashing all over my screen with the Leafs logo coming off the bottom there, right under Rosie's head.
I'm surprised you had time to cheer for the Habs with all the figure skating competitions you were in.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I know. I think the Leafs will win. I think they'll win if I did.
We'll see.
I have a good stat. I mentioned this earlier on, dating back to 16-17. 7 straight first meetings of the season between the Leafs and the Habs have been decided by 1 goal, including 3 straight openers.
The thing I know for sure, and you felt this, Rosie, is, and I saw it last night too, is it's still preseason-esque with a little bit of rustiness, not super great execution yet. Like, you got to get like 5 games in, 6 games in before you start feeling still, regular. So I think there's room for like breaks. There's room for sloppiness. There's room for not finishing chances, I think, still right now. So, and I find like young teams are better in that situation. Like these young guys now are just a little cleaner. They're a little bit more on it. I don't know, for whatever reason, like I think through camp had to push themselves a little bit harder just because they're like, oh shit, this is the NHL. Like I got to be ready. Mm-hmm. And they're not like managing, how they feel coming through it. So I think younger teams have a little bit of an advantage early with regards to like how ready they are, how like less rusty they are. I would put that in there too. Is that a stat? What is that? Analytics?
Even though they played 14 preseason games.
I know, buddy. One year in Toronto, I played 7 of the 9 preseason games. I was like exhausted. I was exhausted.
You're on the bubble.
They just brought me in.
So you're on the bubble, yeah. Like, shit, why do we sign this guy?
Yeah. I remember Dangle tweeted something out about it, and he goes, "Throwback to when Rosehill made the Leafs out of training camp," and I think it was like he fought 5 times in 6 nights or something like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, these probably weren't just like, grab a guy, hang on, throw a couple. The Rose dozer just grabbed on and like shaklank, just started bombing. Just started bombing. Hair.
Ryan Reeves dropped him tonight.
Oh, he'll be looking. There's no question. And you know what the thing I like about him is, he's got swagger, but like he's always ready, but he'll make you do something about it too, the way he plays. He's not just out there to like, tap guys on shin pads off faceoffs. Like he'll run you and he'll run somebody in a forecheck and just blow a guy up. He'll get a guy in the neutral zone and smash a guy. And then like, what are you going to do? So he puts, so he kind of, he plays the game both ways because he can in that regard. But I think, with his play, and I think, you take a Canadian kid too, and you put him in a market like that, and you put him in a rivalry and you put him in opening night where he's going to want to like showcase himself. I think you see something I think you see some fireworks from him in any way possible with his game.
Well, this probably goes to both of you, is like, so Rosie, we can start with you. Like, this is the Montreal Canadiens. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs, the season opener. How do you keep your emotions in check? Because like, that's the one thing I'm looking at from guys like the newcomers specifically, Domi, Bertuzzi, Reeves. I mean, it's no secret what they're looking to do. They're looking to bash. They're looking to make some noise. How do you keep that emotion in check, Rosie?
Well, I wish I was a master at that, but my emotions were pretty much all over the goddamn
Some videos about that too in
game day.
Yeah. Just take one less Sudi.
Jesus. No, I mean, these guys are going to try to remind themselves this is just a regular game, right? Like, they've been doing this a long time. I don't think they want to put any extra pressure on themselves. And, these guys are going to be pretty good at having a routine and following it. They're going to stick to it. Luckily, that preseason is long enough. They've got to figure out where they like to have pregame, why, their place is set up for their nap. They know how to get to the rink, blah, blah. They're going to go do everything they normally do and just try not to put too much up on it. But it's going to be a big game. I think I brought it up on this show, Army, when Mike Komisarek, I always remember that. Like, he was so horned up to play because he was the big, tough accusation on the back end of the Leafs, and we played Montreal, his team, and he just ran around and took about 6 minors. It was hilarious. He was on a couple suities, I'm sure.
Yeah, big Como. I think in particular, to your point, Nick, is like those guys will definitely be more, I think everyone's on edge a little bit or has that kind of vibe for opening night. Like, it's ready to get it going. It's different. The energy's different. The fans, it just feels so different. But those guys in particular, like, to put your best, foot forward on opening night, it's like a little bit extra juice, I think. So I expect to see something from them, though. I do, just because, like, I think all 3 of those guys are like emotional players. Like, they play on they play on emotion. So I think it'll only bring out the best in them here in getting it done. I just hope it's not like a rusty, slop fest of like a preseason-esque looking game. But I do expect them to be noticeable with their play just because of all the factors.
Here's my call. Someone's going to take a dumb penalty. It's probably going to be one of the newcomers. It happens every year, from David Clarkson to Kami. Like, somebody's going to do it. Final question for you from the chat. One guy really wants to know what Army's favorite line to play on was in your day. It's got to be on a line with 87. You still riding his coattails. You're on a fucking couch with the guy.
Oh, I'm going to add another guy. Another guy. In the Winter Classic, the first Winter Classic game, the game that I always brag about, the game that I have the fastest goal in the history of Winter Classics.
That's true, you do.
And I don't know if anyone knew that.
We didn't know.
But I want to let you guys know. I was on a line in that game with Sid and Gito.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty good.
I remember just you plucking yourself in front of the net, man. You were the ass guy.
Yeah, I just came and I was the hound. I was the dog. Yeah. I just went after it. I just got pucks, bumped it to them, picked a guy, got to the net, got open, little give and go action, get the puck back on their stick. Like, little things like that I did. And, like, if you have analytics back in the day, like in that game, like I was like probably had the puck on my stick for a total of like 10 seconds, but I've just made so many spectacular 10-foot plays. It was ridiculous. And then on my goal, like the fastest goal ever, I just crashed into the crease like a seagull ripping around the dump and swooped in there. Wango, just tapped one in on my stick, off my stick, in the back of the net. But that was a hell of a line. A unique, fun, cool line that I also played in was in Atlanta. I played with Rich Peverly, who's like a good player, buzzsaw, could shoot the puck. Yeah. He was fast. And Slava Kozlov.
No way.
The old Russian, but he was just like Vyacheslav Kozlov. And he's so smart, like with that give and go stuff and like how to move pucks and just had a bomb of a shot. So I was pretty successful on that line too. I think I had my best, career year in goal scoring too, playing with those guys.
Love it. Well deserved, Armbrew.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for letting me pump my own tires for a while there, boys. I just went on a little story time.
We love it, man. That's going back a while with Kozlov and fucking Atlanta. You don't seem old enough to be part of that stuff, but that shows how good
Thanks,
you were
buddy.
at a young age, young fella.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it was. It does seem like things are flying by. Like last night, the longest 3 players to ever play together record was set with Malkin, Crosby, and Letang.
That's crazy.
And like Sid's entering his 19th year, and it's just like, whoa, what's happening here? What the hell is going on? Now my kids are full days in school, all 4 of them. It's like time is flying, boys. Time is flying.
Is Cruz still standing with his nose against the TV?
No, remember that? Yeah, no. I know he's at the age now where I don't even see him. He's like, oh, hey, Dad. He comes home. He just
too cool for school, eh?
Yeah, he just goes up in his room and doesn't want to hang out with. Well, it's like, I got 4 kids, and Cruz is my oldest, and then the rest are girls. So it's like the girls are ripping around. He's like, get me out of here. I'm gonna go hang out in my room. I'm like, dude, can I come hang out in your room with you?
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
Either that or go try to make a 5th with Mel. Thanks for coming, Brucey.
Shout out to
Thanks,
Mel
guys.
Armstrong. Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Have a good
See
one.
you, buddy.
Enjoy
We'll
the
talk
day.
soon.
Enjoy the year. Enjoy the year, guys.
Same
Enjoy
to you, buddy.
Dubas, buddy.
Thank you. I will. See how she goes.
See you, buddy. He can't even turn his camera off. Like, he's still trying. He's the best.
Always good. Always good.
Oh,
I'm glad I
love
roomed with
that.
that guy for a while.
Dude, just reading the chat, like everybody's talking about a Reeves Jack-Eye fight. They're talking about Montreal, Toronto food, and they're talking about hot wives.
Good. Those are all great things.
Hey, you see you score for Nashville last night? How you doing? Factor, baby.
1-1.
Yeah.
Good start, eh?
It's still weird for me to see Schenner in a fucking Preds jersey, man. I miss that guy.
I haven't even seen it yet. Yeah, it was fun getting him back in a Leafs jersey there for a while, but well, we'll move on. But I don't think Jack-Eye will even look at Reeves.
Dude, he's tough.
I know he is. I was pumping his tires. I couldn't believe what he was doing last year. He's got a bomb, but I don't think he's going to go day one against probably right up there. I mean, he's the premier guy in the league, Rebo. It'd be interesting to see, man. Can't wait to watch.
Cannot wait to watch. By the way, this week's player to watch is presented by Covered Bridge Potato Chips. I'll go first with this, Rosie. There's 2 games on the slate this week, technically until Sunday for the Leafs. They got Minnesota at home on Saturday. I'm going to go with Ilya Samsonov, 879 save percentage, in the preseason. I think it's paramount that he gets off to a hot start. I know they got Martin Jones in the 3-string if things go awry here for the goaltenders, but I want to see a hot start from Sammy. Who do you have?
Yeah, can't argue with that. I'm going with Matthew Nyes, just the way he was buzzing out there in preseason. I think he's got that youthful exuberance. I think he's going to be absolutely flying out there. I'm going to be watching 23 hard tonight.
I love it. Go to coveredbridgechips.com and follow on Instagram at CB_chips. As you see in my background, we're still waiting for Rosie's shipment. We're going to try this on air together. We're going to do a little sample test on the show, but I got a couple bags behind me. I'm fired up to eat them, buddy. So you're waiting patiently for your shipment here.
I know you had a big old spread there. You sent me a picture of the boxes that showed up. I can't wait, man. I'm going to be breaking my fast with different flavors of chips one day here soon. Can't wait.
Dude, so I get an email from my concierge because they email you at my building, like when you get something in for mail. And so I go down and he points and there's one box. He's like, no, all 6 of those boxes, dude. I had boxes everywhere. I needed like the valet cart to bring it up to my condo. And I'm like, these are all potato chips. There was 9 different bags of chips.
Love it. I'm a chip guy, so I'm excited.
I know that was the first thing you said when we told you about Covered Bridge coming aboard is like, you're a potato chip guy through and through. You're going to eat them in bed. They're going to be all over your house. Halloween's upcoming too. Like, this is your season, Rosie.
I know, Halloween. God, because I'll have all those chips in stock. I'll just take all the Halloween candy and put it in the dumpster. Get it out of here. I got chips. I'm covered. I don't need that garbage in my house.
Fair enough. Want to get your thoughts quickly. It was a formality, but Noah Gregor, I showed you an email that I shared with Noah yesterday. Just congratulate him. If you didn't know, we interviewed Noah prior to his start of training camp when he inked that PTO with the Leafs. Upstart dude, really, really good guy. And we're happy for Noah Gregor, man. He earned that spot here.
Yeah, he definitely did. He's got a fair bit of what the Leafs need, and he came in and he didn't have a spot. He didn't have a job, and he went out and earned it. So good Western boy, loving that. Solid kid, head on his shoulders. I think he's well liked in that room, and good on him. Congratulations on an NHL contract. Away he goes tonight.
Very curious to see what happens here with Bobby McMahon. I know a lot of people in Leafs Nation love this guy, but he was placed on waivers, so we'll see if he gets through. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because he's sort of like one of those depth guys that you need. And then Easton Cowan was sent back to junior. But like, can you just speak to the importance of having a kid? His first year after being drafted in camp all the way through until the opener. I think that's huge for him, no?
Yeah, big time. It'd be a confidence boost. I would, if I was his coach in junior, I would manage that and, have a little sit down meeting and, where are you at mentally? What are you thinking about being back here? What are your goals for the year? It's, you go back to junior, it's easy. You got all the show gear and the under gear and you got this and that and holy moly. And, it's easy to be like, I don't need to really be here anymore. But you gotta keep yourself in perspective and realize, hey, you got a little taste of it. You earned a shot to, live that lifestyle for a little bit. You're too young to be starting up here, but now is a big year for him to be developing like crazy, working on, gaining confidence for the right reasons and going out there and getting exponentially better all season long, so that come next training camp, you come in and you're an even better player. Just keep putting the building blocks together. But good on him for going that far, and hopefully he has a big and healthy season in junior.
For those of you asking about the morning skate lines, it was an optional. So like Giordano, Klingberg, Liljegren, Gregor, Minton, Kampf, Nye, Samsonov, Wall are the only ones that took it. So we're gonna have to find out at game time. Also, Max Domi I forgot about this. Max Domi was asked about Sam Lafferty and him leaving and that number 28, and if he would take that number. He said, no, that's my old man's number. So Max Domi's not changing numbers, Rosie. I like it though, man, because that just puts added pressure for no reason, right?
Added pressure, schmesher. I just want to see 2-8 Domi out there again, man.
Not the same player. Not the same player.
Nobody said he is. It'd just be neat.
Neat to see. I would say let's put Ty out there at this point. The Betano wrap-up is presented by Betano.ca. The game starts now, 19+. Please play responsibly. We threw a lot of different bets yesterday. My Seattle one didn't hit. The shot prop hit, so got a lot of things going for us. What are a couple things you're looking at for this game before I throw what I'm looking at?
I want to see. I mean, it's not even bettable stuff. It's not really stat line stuff.
This is a betting segment, so.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm not finished. I want to see the jam. I want to see the heart. I want to see the hustle. But I'm looking at that core four. I want to see who gets on the board early. I want them to start off with a bang and get their numbers going early. So I'm looking at Marner, Matthews, points over. See what they're set up. I think they're going to get on the score sheet. Look at those guys to be coming out firing. There's been a lot of talk for once about different pieces of the lineup, and we have not been talking about the core four for once, which is quite nice. And maybe that gave them a chance just to settle in, do their thing, and they're going to remind us who they are tonight.
Shorzy, by the way, writes in, Nick, take a shot of that Crown Royal for game day. Let's go. More on Crown Royal coming up next week, so stay tuned for that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. On that front, because you see, we've planted it in our background now. We got one here with Rosie, got one with me, so don't worry. We got things coming with our friends over at Crown Royal. So a couple things before we wrap here. I mentioned earlier on, dating back to 16-17, dude, I did some research watching that 5:30 Nashville-Tampa game. 7 straight first meetings of the season between the Leafs and the Habs have been decided by 1 goal, including 3 straight openers, which tells you I'm taking the Habs puck line. I'm sorry to say it, but like value's value. It's plus money right now. I think this game's going to be close. I didn't say the Leafs would lose it, but I think it's going to be a 1-goal hockey game. So I'm doing that. Willie Nylander owns the Montreal Canadiens, 15 goals in 29 career games against them. His last 3 home openers, all against Montreal, by the way, 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points, 13 shots on goal. So anything Nylander, 1,000% you look at tonight. And by now we know Josh Anderson, the damage he does against the Leafs, dude. 17 career games with Montreal against Toronto, 9 goals, 46 shots on goal. So that's just slightly over 2.5 per game. Those are probably the 2 players I would pinpoint. Josh Anderson, Nylander. And again, I like this game to be close.
Yeah, it's funny how certain guys score in bunches against certain teams. Those guys would be good to look at. I wouldn't mind if you want some like plus money. Jump on that the game goes to overtime. There's a history of very tight games with these 2 opening nights. So jump on that maybe too.
We got to talk to our friends over at Crown because I got some ideas, man. Like I was thinking, do we take a shot after they lose? Do we take a shot after they win? Do we take a shot every time they win 3 in a row? Like the opportunities are endless with our friends over at Crown. So
we should record a game live while we're deleting a bottle of Crown.
That'd be sick. Our friends over at Barn Burner did a very, very successful booze show, albeit they're in red Solo cups because you can't show that you're drinking online, I guess.
Really?
But that's an idea, even though it's going to be 9 a.m. for you to start this show and it's 11 a.m. for me. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
That's getting pretty alky out there, but maybe I'd sacrifice one day for the show.
I'll leave this with you. October records. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
Last year, they're 4-4-2, 2021, 4-4-1, 2019, 6-5-3. Rid yourselves of that Musk, please. Kyle Dubas is gone, a new era. There's optimism. I want the Leafs to come out strong, flex their muscles, and set a tone for the season. Am I going to overreact if they win? Probably. Am I going to overreact if they lose? Probably. But nonetheless, you know what I mean. Set a fucking tone tonight, Rosie.
I would like an 800 winning percentage in October to set the season off, baby. Let's go. That's what I want. We need some goaltending. Sammy's going to be sharp. Watch Sammy tonight. He's going to be big. He's going to be poised. He's going to be cat-like. It's real bullets tonight. I think the preseason for those guys, they could give a shit. There's no numbers. There's no stats. There's no nothing that stays with them. They're just getting their feels out there. Now that he's got it, I'm looking for him to just be a cat in there.
I like it. And TML writes as well, is there a new goal song for tonight's game? That is my dream since they lost to Florida. Out with the musk of the past. Dubas is gone. Hall & Oates, please, for the love of God, just change it to anything else. Eiffel 65, I do not care. Just no Hall & Oates, but you know what's coming tonight. And we'll leave you with this. So producer Aaron got a photo of Rosie without a bucket during warmups in Philadelphia. So there was a moment. There it is. You look pretty damn good. That game's in Toronto too, right?
The truth comes out. I have no idea where that game is, but I can't believe
it looks photoshopped. You look photoshopped.
Very Photoshop, 100%. People are putting a lot of time into that these days. No, yeah. I never wore a bucket my entire career in warm-up. I don't know why that first game I did. Obviously, I was nervous, but nonetheless, that'll probably be the only helmet you see on me in warm-up if you're looking for them.
Yeah, because if you missed it earlier, like you just bold-faced lied to our viewers and our listeners when you said your NHL debut, you didn't wear a bucket, and then we got the video. Oh, there's a picture right there. You're wearing a bucket for warm-ups, so...
Well, I thought that picture was me just coming off of like the first period or something, but there's Garnet Exelby behind me. Yeah. No buck cheddar. So I am a bold-faced liar.
That guy used to hit Exelby. Oh, yeah. Former Thrasher.
Blast in the past, eh?
We got to get him on the show. I forgot about Garnet Exelby, man.
Shit, we should too. I got to go through the roster and think of the guys we got to reach out to this season for another successful Leafs morning take.
Where are you watching the game tonight?
In my basement. I got to finagle it in between two practices, so I'll definitely watch the first half, and then I'll probably be running practice with it on my phone on the dash. Just do another hard lap, kids. We got a power play here.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to that tomorrow to recap it. So make sure to tune in to the Thursday edition tomorrow. We'll have a full recap, and again, one way or another, we're going to overreact. So make sure you tune in 11 a.m. Eastern time. Many thanks to Colby Armstrong, producer Aaron Bordato. At the Leafs Nation 401, where you could subscribe here on YouTube, at the Leafs Nation 401 or Leafs Morning Take, wherever you get your podcasts. That's Jay Rosehill. I'm Nick Alberga, and enjoy the season opener tonight. Take care.
Thank you for watching Leafs Morning Take. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit theleafsnation.com.